Hi, and welcome again to another edition of Market Analysis for today, September 9th of 2024. I'm Giovanni Benacourt, analyst, trader, and educator with Vantage Markets, and this is being pre-recorded to the U.S. session open. All right, so we are in front of a daily candlestick chart for the NASDAQ. I'm going to start doing, showing the levels that I'm presuming the markets will be reaching for the day, but also I'm going to break it down and change the chart to show what could happen in a half an hour chart. So initially, let's talk about what's happening in the markets. For now, we saw last week that it was a bad Goldilocks story when it came to jobs report. The figures were too weak to reassure the markets the economy remains resilient, but likely too strong to push the Federal Reserve into bigger cuts. There doesn't seem to be much hope of a happier ending this week. On the face of it, Friday's report shouldn't have caused panic. An unemployment rate taken down to 4.2% from 4.3%, while average hourly wages were stronger than expected, didn't scream recession. That seemed to lock in a quarter point to cut interest rates at the Fed September 18th meeting rather than a half a point cut. However, the gain in non-farm payrolls was lower than expected. That was enough to unnerve those worried the Fed will act too late and too slowly, leading to a sharp drop in the S&P 500 index. A bit of a bargain hunting is investors buy stocks following the dip is likely, but there might not be too much movement ahead of two major events this week, one economic and one political. On the economics front, the consumer price index, CPI, for August is due on Wednesday, where the rate of inflation is expected to keep coming down. However, the message from the Fed speakers is they are more focused on jobs right now than inflation. Now, it could take a large surprise to move expectations on rates. The Fed might also be cautious against the political background as the presidential debate between Democratic nominee Kamala Harris and her Republican counterpart Donald Trump takes place tomorrow, Tuesday. So with that being said, let's take a look at what we could probably expect for this week or for today. So obviously, we see that drop in the indices on Friday. Today, we have opened with a small gap up. So let's change our time frame to 30 minutes and take a look at what in a 30-minute chart, what we could be speculating for today. So the day for the day, this will be my my resistance, my target, and this is my support. This is my target if the market happens to trend lower. We have a crossing of the medium line in the Bollinger Band, which is a 20-day moving average, crossing below and to top, from below the 50-day moving average. This usually indicates a momentum to the upside. So in the 30-minute chart that we're seeing here, we are seeing how the market is rebounding off that 50-day moving average towards the upside. So initially, for the next half an hour, we could use our target as could be this triple top that has been created throughout the London session. So right around 18,600, that could be our initial target. Between now and the next hour or just half an hour. All right. Otherwise, if we do happen to see a retracement, could we probably come down and find again support on the 50-day moving average? Well, right now, so far, the RSI is picking above 50, which indicates to us a momentum is picking up to the upside. So initially, let's go long on the NASDAQ. Now let's take a look at the S&P 500 as well. So here are our levels. The S&P 500 is actually rebounded from our level of support, which is around 5,400. So therefore, we need to make another level of support. And right off, 5350 jumps out at me. And if you look at across the board. This levels 5350 is being touched quite a lot. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then to the back, like historically wise, also this level previously a resistance, right? And now turns into a support around that area. So that's where I'm gonna bring down my level of support for the S&P. Now we are on a daily chart, and I'm gonna use the crossing of the moving averages as my level of resistance. Now let's take a look at how that will look on a 30-minute chart. The same token goes as the Nasdaq, but in the S&P, actually the market is rebounding off the 20-day moving average, or the medium of the Bollinger Bands. We are quite obviously far away from either point of resistance or support. So initially again, we might want to come in and take a look at a target towards the upper Bollinger Band. Okay, and the support obviously would be the 50-day moving average. So that's intraday, or if you will. That's for the S&P. For the Dow, all right, so to the Dow, we are in a 30 minutes, so let's change that to a daily. Let's take a look at the levels. So around 40,960 and change. That's where I have my resistance, and the support is around 40,000 and change, 40,050. We are trending above the 50-day moving average on a daily chart. Let's take a look at 30 minutes. Let's see how this will play out in the next couple of hours, half an hour, next 30 minutes. This is the 30-minute candlestick. Right, so each candlestick is 30 minutes. So again, we're seeing that again, the 20-day has crossed over the 50-day from below, pointing towards a pickup of momentum to the upside. RSI is way higher than 50, so the momentum is picking up. So again, initially a short could be that upper band of the Bollinger Band around 40,725 for the Dow. Now let's take a look at the Russell on a daily chart. Let's contract this. All right, so on a daily chart, the Russell has already been come towards the level of support. So where shall we place our next level of support? We could do 2040, as well as we could do 2050, around 2050. Yeah, let's do 2050. Might be way too low, but and then let's just use the 50-day moving average as our level of resistance. Okay, and let's take a look at the 30-minute chart and see how we're doing on the Russell, which the 20 is it's getting closer to the 50 to to cross over, but the RSI is still below that 50 level. So let's see if we did open, this bar did open with a small gap up. Okay, because this one closed at 2095, and this one opened at 2095.66, 2095.26. This one's closed, and this one opened up 2095.66. So it's a very small gap up. So let's see momentum to the upside being built. So again, initially the 2100 and change can be a nice target, and the lower Bollinger Band could be also used as support, 2092. Sorry about that. So let's see now crude oil. Let's go back to a daily. Crude oil. So crude oil is already peaking itself below our level of support. So I'm gonna bring that puppy down and just use that low of Friday as a probable place for that level of support. Let's bring down our level of resistance to the previous on Thursday's high. Okay, so let's go to 30 minutes and let's take a look at what we can speculate for this case. So RSI below 50 towards pointing as a sell-off. Right now the market is pushing towards the lower band of the Bollinger Band. The bands are constrained, constricted, so they're being pinched. So perhaps we could probably come here and speculate that the market will continue to move lower. So let's see if we can come and find a level of nice support somewhere around here, 67.90 initially. And if we do happen to fluctuate to the upside, we gotta cross over the moving averages. But initially, I'm going short with crude oil. Let's take a look at Nat Gas. Nat Gas is, oh wow, we did open with a big gap down. Basically, some people might say, to be close, you gotta, come back into the body of the candlestick. The wick is also part of it. So I'm thinking, okay, could be a momentum to the upside in the beginning. Let's see if somewhere up to the middle of that gap could be the market. Will the market continue to move towards that gap or to that middle of that gap, and see if we'll continue then the direction of the gap, which is down. Or obviously we could come in and speculate that the market will continue to move up. We are above 50, but the RSI is turning down, so keep that in mind. So right now, I will be speculating the market might continue to move higher, but looking to see if it will reach 216. So and let's take a look at the 30 minutes. Sorry about that. Let's take a look at the 30 minutes, see how it will play out. So we're seeing, okay, so the target 217, the crossing of the bands of the moving averages. So the bands are being pitched as break up to the upside momentum in a half an hour chart, different, right, than the daily. So let's continue to speculate that the market will continue to move higher. 217 could be that target for Nat Gas. Gold, let's go down towards the daily. And gold seems, okay, so gold has fluctuated below our level of support, so it has violated that. So let's just use 2480, nice round psychological number. And let's bring down to 2,520 for resistance. Let's go back to half an hour chart. And on the half an hour chart, we'll see how we are moving to the upside. We were in a range, broke down, and now we are nicely fluctuating to the upside, making nice higher highs and higher lows. So we are specifically in an uptrend. Now, will we start walking the bands, the upper band? That's something that we want to be able to start seeing, but we are looking to stay above 2,500. So that could be a nice momentum to the upside. Initially, I'm going to use, say, somewhere around 2,515 to 2,512. So to the upside so far with gold. Let's take a look at silver on a daily chart. So silver on a daily chart also has broken our level of support. 2750 is going to be that puppy, and I'm going to use the 50-day moving average as my level of resistance. So let's go back to 30 minutes. In the 30 minutes, we are seeing nice movement on silver, and a little breakout after being really consolidation, ranging, just sideways movement and a breakout. So will that sustain itself? The 20-day is getting closer to the 50-day moving average. So let's see if that will give us a entry. So far, I will be waiting for that momentum to pick up and show me a trade to the upside. Then we have here copper on a daily. So we still are at $4 resistance and 422 are $4 support and 422 are resistance. Let's take a look at the 30-minute chart and see what's happening in the 30 minutes. So low volume, you see that market just waiting for more participation, obviously, when the market opens. So let's see if it'll continue to move to the upside, or will it just sell off and towards the the level of support $4. Then we have Bitcoin. Bitcoin indeed is here just trying to recover itself. So on a daily chart, we are moving in that direction that everybody wants it to go, which is higher. So let's just use 57,000 change as our level of resistance. Let's go down to half an hour and see what could happen in half an hour. So we are bouncing off the 20-day moving average, which is the medium point of the Bollinger Band, and the 50-day below the 20. So that's giving a little support. So let's see, continue to the upside. Target 55,600 initially. So let's see where will it end by the end of the day. Let's take a look at the currencies. So let's go down to 1 day on the euro. Also, the euro is actually tanking. It opened with a gap down. It was close and it won't continue to the downside. So 110 automatically is going to be my level of support, and 111 that resistance. Let's take a look at the 30-minute chart and see. Okay, so the RSI was oversold, just picking back inside into its range. So continuing to see just sideways movement for the last couple of hours. So this is obviously a setup for a breakout. Let's see, will the market break towards? We will continue to push lower and see and test that psychological level of support of 110, or will it come and be able to fluctuate above the 20-day moving average, which is at 110.5. Let's see what will happen today with the euro. Initially, also depends on what the dollar index might start doing, because obviously dollar index has a lot to say about how much pressure it'll apply to that currency. The pound is also trading below that level of support. So let's just use 130,500 right below, just around this level, and resistance 131,500. Okay, so let's take a look at the 30-minute chart and see what could be seen. All right, so actually has been rebounding nicely, just doing trying to recover itself. So let's see if the 20-day moving average is going to be the level of resistance where the market will come towards it. So initially, that's what I'm shooting. I'm not shooting for. Then let's take a look at the dollar index. The dollar index is looking to get stronger, fluctuating above the 20-day moving average in the Bollinger Band. Let's take a look at for the next half an hour to see what the direction could be. And it has actually been just trending lower. Let's see if it'll continue and find that support on the 20-day moving average of the Bollinger Band. That's it for now. Have a great trading day, and I will see you tomorrow.